Please, make it stop. Not more. I can't do this anymore. No, 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 no. Welcome back, boys and some girls. This video was meant to be just like any other in this series, the regular format that we have, but I will complain a bit more and I will ask you some questions. Of course, I will have tips at the end as always, less tips but still tips, because I almost couldn't get anything out of Peni. I really tried. I tried as much as I can. She's so niche, and even then, other heroes can simply counter and outplay her with much less setup. And yes, like any other video, we are going to start with a short hero spotlight, then move on to general playstyle, how you're supposed to play, I guess, and then finish up with some specific tips. By the way, if you only care for the tips, then skip to the timestamp on the screen. Peni's left click is an autocannon that has no ammo or reload animation. It has significant damage drop off at distance. Peni's right click is a stun ability that holds the enemy for 0.7 seconds. Peni's left shift is a spider nest that has 350 health and spawns 2 spiders every 3 seconds to go after whatever enemy is inside the web. Peni's E is a mine that explodes a few moments after placed if an enemy is within the proximity of it. Peni's F is a movement ability. When placed on walls from a distance enough, you will be teleported there. You can see a web in the middle of my screen. Yellow means I'm almost max distance. Then it goes to red, which is the maximum distance. You can't go any further. If you let go of the keyboard, then you get pushed back. This also works on ceilings, on everything basically. Peni's ultimate changes her form a bit and lets her left click to actually push down enemies, and her right click to place down mines. When the ultimate is finished, the mines will stay, but the webs will be gone. Playing as Peni was very hard to try and find out what she's good at, because when you don't fight against bronze players, you will simply explode the second you step on the front line and even think about tanking something. Peni's whole playstyle is around the spider nest and her mines. Both of them can be countered very easily by shooting them from range. Mines die in one hit from basically everything. The nest had 350 HP. It does sound like a lot, but it's not, because you can't move the nest. And if you want to relocate it, then it has no cooldown if it didn't take any damage. If it did, then the time will be based on the damage it took, up to 15 seconds. I'm telling you this for the very simple reason that I need you to know that keeping the nest safe is impossible. Best you can do is think where damage is most likely going to come from and then place the nest in a location that will be the least vulnerable. But even then, just a random flanker can get to it because you can't look 360 at all times. Hence why you're very reliant on your team to succeed in the match. Mines, they can be very funny and strategic. The obvious negative for them is their extremely low health and their visibility. They're bright red with spinning yellow lights. You can hide them, the mines, in your webs, but even then you lose a web that you could use to expand your spider nest. And beside that, all the enemies need to do is to shoot anything into your spider webs to explode the mine before they go in. It's so simple. You still can surprise the enemy with creative and strategic mines if you know what you're doing and when you're placing it, but it's not enough to turn like a losing battle into a winning one or to have like a big impact. One very good use I found for Peni is for melee defense. It does require a setup, but after you did that, you're pretty much ready to counter all the Wolverines, the Spider-Mans and the Panthers that you want. You just need your backline to actually play inside your webs, and the mines and the spider nest will just take care of everything. It's quite funny to get kills without even looking for or doing anything. Once again, this one has a pretty big negative. You have to place the nest somewhere that is close enough to the backline so they can heal you and they can deal damage to the enemies without the nest being destroyed, but also close enough to you so you can get healing and over heal from it. So as a result, on some maps this is simply impossible to do. On other maps it's very easy. It's very map dependent. There is another use for how you play Peni, and it's to sell candy to kids in the dark alley in the enemy backline. You just pick somewhere, you set up your ambush, and then you just lure people in. But again, anybody above bronze will just say, nope, my mom told me not to speak to stranger, bye bye, and then they will just go to play with their main team. If you're really good on Peni, then you might be able to annoy some supports, but the second you leave your cover, you're stunned and dead. A recommendation to the devs, if they somehow see this, is to buff her nest. More range, more bombs, not more health or more bomb damage, those are enough. The reason is Peni has no pushing power. She can't do a lot of frontal damage like Thor, she can't shield and push like Strange. She just has very good defense if her nest isn't being destroyed. Buffing her nest will actually allow her to control more space, make it harder to reach and destroy her nest, and you can still hover over it or jump high enough to avoid bombs, because they do take a while to travel in the webs and reach every point of it. Okay, after explaining and complaining for a while, I think I covered pretty much everything I wanted to say about Peni as a hero, or I don't know what to call it even, but we can move back to a regular program and start with the general playstyle. After everything I said above, I'm still playing Peni as a frontline, and it is doable, but it's reactionary. You don't get to do things, you only react to things. If you play it right, then you got an ace and you can move on to the objective and set up your front line on top of it. As Peni, you always want to be near cover, both for you and for your nest, and always stay on webs, just any webs, because they passively heal you and they also give you overheal to 150, so 800 HP total. You always want to think what choke point you can hold next and place your nest accordingly with the supporting mines in entrances that you cannot cover with your nest. Each mine does 100 damage, so you can calculate how much you need for the side entrance for the flanker or the main one for the tank, that's up to you. Peni has no ammo capacity or reload animation, so you can just hold left click and basically it costs nothing. Just shoot at anything you can do, it's decent damage, and beside that you have a very cool stun every like 3 seconds if you right click that can cancel quite a lot of ultimates, as well as foil some specific furries plans. When using your mines, think only about the visibility. Don't bother throwing webs to hide the mines, because they're better used to expand your nest and they're pretty much a dead giveaway to where your mines are at. So try to aim at doorways or steep stairs and try to hide the mines in places that are not very visible to the person that's coming from the other side. If you're playing more defensively, you can always throw some mines into your nest behind you where your supports are playing to actually help them against divers, allowing you to focus more on the main objective. Peni's ultimate is great at making space because it expands her nest to a much larger size and allows the bombs to travel to wherever you are going with the extra damage. On its own, it doesn't do great damage unless the enemies step on every single mine that you place, but if you add the nest to it in the backline, then you can delete quite a few heroes. Here comes the part where I'm unsure if I'm playing Peni right or wrong. I've seen other people how they play her and it's kind of similar, a bit different, but it's pretty much similar, the same idea, just they have better aim and stuff. And I don't know what's going on, because usually Peni is very mobile, but usually when you take defense, it's slow. Slow and defense usually go together in games, and then you have speed and damage. It's usually this is how it goes together, right? But here it's weird. She has very high mobility, she can climb walls, she can launch herself up basically, you know, to every wall, to every ceiling, every 3 seconds with her F. This is why I don't know. I'm asking you, do you have any tips? Do you have any play styles, any ideas how you should play Peni? Because I tried and I'm kind of told you already at the start of the video, but anything can be countered that she can do pretty easily without much trying. And to do this, you actually have to try very hard. I might be able to figure this out on my own if I play Peni like a lot more, but I really don't want to. It was a nightmare to play like even this much just to do this video, and that's pretty much the ways that these are the ways that I found how to play Peni. Think the best way that you can. Now for the tips. Tip number 1: mines that are placed within your webs are hidden from the enemies, if you don't remember me saying it. So make your support actually lure people into the mines, it will cause some funny moments. Tip number 2, don't play Peni against a Groot. He can just place a wall on top of your nest and instantly kill it. I'm pretty sure it's a bug, you shouldn't be able to do that. I sent a ticket, but we'll see what happens. Tip number 3, Peni has a hidden team up with Wolverine, or same thing works with Bucky. He can kidnap people into your web and then you can stun them and it's just give you an insta kill almost. Also, it's basically passive income. He can just go into it and do this on his own even without your stun, just kidnap people into the web and instantly kill them. Tip number 4, I said it but I'm gonna say it again: always stand on a web. It's just passive healing, and you also get overheal, so why not? Tip number 5, you can expand your nest by using your F and your right click, doesn't matter which one, up to 3 times on the nest around it. Basically it goes any direction that you want, and you can expand 3 nests. That's it. And that's all I have to say for Penny. This one was again a nightmare to make. Against noobs, she's very much fun. Like, her kit is a lot of fun to make, like a defensive line and stand your ground. It's fun, but it's so easily countered. Everything she does can be countered so easily that it's just not fun. The second people know how to play against you, that's it. It's so simple. You can do some stuff to negate this and play stuff in weird directions, but again, you just work a lot for one time that it's going to work, and then the next time it's not going to work because people are going to go from a different direction and then counter you. So it's just a lot of work for something that's not going to work. I really hope that they will rework her or tweak some stuff. I don't know, just change some things to make it so she's much more viable, because she's a ton of fun. I really enjoy playing her. Again, not against people who know how to play against her, because her kit is fun, just not against people who actually know how to basically shut her down. Or hold on, maybe I will somehow learn how to play her better, and then she will simply be fun. But I have not really seen anyone playing her good, I want to say. Like, I've seen only mostly flankers, and even then it's mostly a team diff. The reason that they won the game or something, it's not like they did a lot of stuff. It's just like being annoying in the backline. So I don't know. Either way, whatever it is, I don't know. But that's gonna be it. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, thank you. If you didn't, I want to know why, so I can improve. Besides that, keep us safe. See you in the next one. Bye bye.